Hi, I'm Pete with FoamFit Tools, and today I want to show you two new organizers we designed for the Quinn 87-piece bit set. The Quinn 87-piece master bit socket set includes three types of sockets. There's torx bit, hex bit, and external torx. Now the torx bit sockets go from T6 up to T60. On the SAE side, they go from 1/8 up to 3/4. And on the metric side, they go from 2.5 millimeter up to 19 millimeter. The E-torx goes from an E4 to an E24. Now they're short and long for most of these. On the torx bit sockets, it covers the same range, T6 to T60. On the SAE hex bit and metric hex bit, the range is a little bit shorter. It goes from 1/8 to 3/8, and then 4 millimeter to 10 millimeter. So no matter what you're working on, this set's got a pretty good range of sizes. If I think back to tools that I had a hard time finding, I had a differential with a drain plug on a Chevy that was 5/8. That was a little hard to find. I had a starter on a inboard boat motor that I think was E4. Things that are a little harder to find. So this set's got a good range. It includes those sizes, but it also includes the things that you use real frequently. So if you work on tool and die, a 5/16 socket head cap screw is going to be quarter, and then the shoulder screw is going to be 7/32. And there's a short and a long of each of those. The first organizer that I've been showing is sized for the narrow drawer in a US General Series 3 toolbox. So like the 42-inch or the 56-inch box, or that side cabinet that they sell that you can add on. So it's 12 and 3/16 wide, 19 and 3/8 deep. This is our most compact size layout. So if you compare that to the case, it's just a hair bigger than the case, but to fit the case in a lot of toolboxes, you're going to open that up. You can remove the pins on the case, which is really nice, so that you can put the two halves in your toolbox however they fit best. So the big advantage, of course, is with the foam organizer, you don't need to pry that tool out of the case. The case is going to hold it real nice. So if you put it behind the seat in your truck or something, the tools aren't all going to be just in the bottom of the case when you open it up. It's going to hold those real nice, but it's going to slow you down for a lot of things. And of course, with a tool organizer, what it's really all about is you got a spot for every tool, and that bright color shows you what's missing at a glance. So you can just open the drawer, make sure everything got put away, and if you give the tools to somebody else, say, hey, go put those back in the box, chances are they'll get them back in the right spot. So we got this layout. The other layout I want to show you is same tools, but it's sized for a bigger drawer. And what that allows us to do is allows us to space things out and keep everything in line. So we keep the long T6 next to the short T6. We keep the long T55 next to the short T55. And I can put some of these in here so you can see what I'm talking about. So then we laser mark the sizes on, and that's done with our CO2 laser, and it carves them nicely into the foam so that that's a permanent mark. It's not going to rub off over time. So this layout is 22 1/4 wide, 19 and 3/8 front to back. So that would fit in a 27-inch US General box. The same drawer size is used in the 42-inch. That'd be the left bank on the 42-inch US General. And the older Series 2 boxes were just like an 1/8 inch difference. So it works in those as well. And you can see we've got a lot of space along the back here. So this can be trimmed to fit drawers that don't have all that depth. So US General, their toolboxes are pretty deep front to back, but if you need to trim this down, it can be trimmed small enough to fit in a lot of other boxes. And when you look on our website, we've got a lot of information. One of the things that we always put on there is the height you need, and also the smallest you can trim that. So on this layout, one of the things to keep in mind is because these large half drive hex bit sockets are standing on end, you do need a little bit of height in that drawer. So it doesn't work in a 2-inch high drawer, which is kind of the standard shallowest drawer you're going to run into for most brands of toolboxes. but a lot of the U.S. General drawers are 2 3/4, 3 inches high. So this works in most of the drawers in that U.S. General box. Here's what this layout looks like with all the tools in it. And you can see how we've lined up the tools on both sides of the laser mark. So the 7/32 size, we got the short and long together, trying to make that as clear as possible. And we've marked this size as really large, so we know that the lighting's not always that great, or your toolbox lid is casting a shadow. So we've tried to make that text as big as we can. So we've got other videos. The big Quinn set is, of course, the 428 piece set. The smaller sets, or medium-sized sets, there's 5 of them that kind of go together. This is the 87 piece bit set. There's a quarter drive set, 3/8 drive set, a half drive set. We've got another video that covers organizers for those 3 sets. Then we've got this set, and then there are 2 impact socket sets. There's a 3/8 drive and a half drive impact socket set. So Quinn calls all of these master sets. So if depending on your needs, we've got a couple different combinations. We've got a layout with the quarter and the 3/8 master sets together. We've got layouts with the 3/8 and the half impact sets together. So we've got quite a few layouts on our website. The website is FoamFitTools.com. When you go to FoamFit Tools, if you're looking for organizers for Quinn, just click on Tool Organizers and then click on the Quinn filter, and that'll just filter it down. We've got hundreds of designs on there, but that'll show you the roughly 30 layouts we've got specifically for these Quinn sets. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe so you can see our future videos, and let us know if you have any questions. We love talking about tools. Thanks.